we on? I think we're on. Hey everyone, it's the Minecraft. Welcome to another video, and today we're back with some more game theory. Yeah, another FNAF theory. Where apparently Matt has found the big twist that is coming in FNAF Security Breach. And I have a good feeling it's most likely going to do with the new information that we have thanks to Funko, because they announced they finally revealed the they revealed some special like figures or something like that. And Scott apparently confirmed that they do give some hints about what's going to be going on in FNAF Security Breach. There were two figures. One was of Glamrock Freddy. I almost said Rockstar Freddy. Glamrock Freddy and Gregory. We finally get a look at Gregory. And I think it's the first thing we're going to fully see of, how Glamrock Freddy's going to look in game. I think because we've seen multiple. I don't know. I've been keeping up at the same time I have. It's weird. Anyways, we finally get to see how Gregory looks, and also Vanny is part of that figure as well. That figure is interesting, but the more important one is the second one, which features two characters. Vanny, again, except she's not in the first one. She was like hiding behind something, stalking Gregory and Freddy, I guess. But she's standing up front. We can see her entirely with the figure, at least with the picture to show us. But interestingly enough, it also shows the security guard. Remember that one teaser all the way back, like really early this year, I believe, showing a security guard coming out of a door with the words "protect" at the bottom of the picture. That very security guard is part of that picture. But the big freaking thing about it is that the figure is titled Vanessa and Vanny. Vanny, as you know, is no doubt, we have no doubt it's the bunny girl in the bunny suit. Our clear antagonist for this new game. But the fact that the security guard's name is... Vanessa can only belong to security guard. They're the only other character featured in the figure. And like I said, I think it's pretty obvious by now that Vanny is, our killer bunny girl. Just the fact that their names are so similar is really, really suspicious. Anyways, with that whole thing out of the way, let's jump right in.
Just a bit. That was just a background first trailer out during a PlayStation 5 announcement event, and man, does this new game look incredible.
Gregory, your friends are worried.
I'm so excited.
Long gone are the days of just looking at static-filled still image camera feeds, my friends. And before we move on, can I just say how cool it is to see an indie franchise started by one man working at General rise to the point that it's now getting a spotlight alongside time-honored franchises like Final Fantasy and God of War. And not only getting spotlight alongside them, getting more views than nearly everything else in that showcase. That's awesome.
Wow. What? Yo! Okay, wow. I guess a lot of people were surprised like me or something. I don't know, but that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, all those other franchises and games are going to be freaking awesome, and I'm very excited for those too. But FNAF is like big. It's hitting the big time, and this shows. Wow.
Really well deserved. Now, based on
Well
the
deserved
trailer, it looks
indeed.
like we'll be trapped inside of a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzaplex, playing a life or death game of hide and seek against a killer. And it's that killer, Vanny, that I really want to dive into today. She's teased twice in the trailer. Once via a bunny-shaped shadow in the opening sequence, and again as the final jump scare. Now, we've suspected for a while that she's coming via teaser images on Scott's website, merch leaks, Easter eggs hidden throughout FNAF VR, all things that I've covered before
She's
in this
just
series. But the
been
thing
all
I
around.
wanted to look closer at today is her backstory and her relationship to Glitch Trap. Because even though this game hasn't come out...
Right. There is also another thing, because, well, he's going to get into it, but it has to do with a new version of FNAF Help Wanted, FNAF VR, that was released. They released it on mobile, and there's something really interesting in it.
We honestly don't know when it's coming out. We do already know a ton about this new character. In fact, true to Scott's style of storytelling, we probably won't get that much of a backstory for Vanny in this new game. I don't know if you've noticed this about Scott's games, but important story bits tend to happen around the games rather than in the games. Let me explain with an example. In Sister Location, we end with Baby being a part of Ennard, and if you get the super secret ending, you see that she gets puked up into a sewer. Fast forward to FNAF 6, and there's suddenly two separate entities again, Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy. To 99.9% of the players, you would have no idea how or why that would have happened. And I can't blame them, because the only way you would know that Baby got voted out of the Ennard tribe was via the source code on Scott's website, as well as a separate stand.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea. I was very confused. What?
Loan site, FNAFworld.com. Just goes to show that when you're talking about FNAF, the game never really stops. And the thing is, I think Vanny is already getting treated this same way. The information about her, what is now getting her to kill, the big twist reveal about Vanny's true nature has already been laid out for us if you're paying attention to all parts of the FNAF universe. So if, unlike me, you don't have time to keep track of the 12 games, 9 books, dozens of ports, hundreds of toys, and a moon-faced animatronic and a pizza tree, well, that's why I'm here. Because all the pieces are out there in place for us, and now we're going to be putting them back together to understand the true backstory.
It's more so, for me, it's more so that I haven't fully been keeping up, obviously, but it's also because I can't remember much.
Vanny, the Killer Bunny. Purple Guy
Right.
2.0 before Security Breach comes out.
Let's
Recently,
go.
the game FNAF Help Wanted got itself a mobile port. Big
Yep.
whoop, right? We've already seen this game 2 other times before.
But it's very
once in
different.
VR, and again in a flat console port. Don't get me wrong, love this game. Probably my favorite game of the franchise, but still, Scott, you ain't getting me to buy this for a third time. He totally got me to buy it a third time. So because the game has been stripped away,
Just gotta sprinkle in some new secrets and lore, and oh boy, you're making dough. You're making dough, Scott.
Gone are some of the game modes, but most notably gone are the hidden cassette tapes that tell the story of Help Wanted's failed development. Now, if you remember back to a year ago, collecting all 16 of those hidden tapes in the original game inadvertently assembled our latest villain, Glitch Trap, piece by piece. And once fully together, he was able to capture us in the game and presumably escape back out into the real world. That's all gone now in the mobile version. In its place, though, maybe something better. Immediately upon opening up the game, it becomes clear that this mobile port is more broken than FNAF World 1.0. Got textures glitching out in both the main hub and in the various minigames. Now, obviously, these are intentional effects, and by zooming in and tapping on them repeatedly, honestly, I can't say exactly what I did to do it. I just was there a long time pounding away at my screen. The screen eventually fades to black, and suddenly you're presented with everyone's favorite part of the series, an 8-bit minigame with rudimentary gameplay steeped in symbolic lore.
Hell yeah!
Okay, it's actually more like 16-bit at this point, but still. We're told that this game
He
is
does
called
that.
Princess Quest,
Scott
with
does
you
this
playing
sort of
as a
thing a
little
lot.
girl lighting torches to unlock doors and running away from glitching bunny people. Glitching bunnies, you say? After making your way through a ruined castle and cemetery, you eventually unlock a long corridor that leads to a final lantern and, no points if you guessed it, Glitch Trap himself. The screen goes dark and suddenly you're taken back to the game's main hub. Now, this seems fairly self-explanatory, right? It's a reference to Glitch Trap in a game that had to eliminate him due to size constraints. But it's the details here that really matter. Not counting the torches in front of the 6 gravestones, which are very clearly references to the original 5 missing children plus the child who possesses the puppet, there are 16 torches in total for the princess to light. This isn't a coincidence. It perfectly lines up with the 16 cassette tapes that you had to collect in the original Help Wanted in order to release Glitch Trap. In fact, Glitch Trap only appears once the 16th one is lit, further cementing that connection. But where things get really interesting is when you decode what Glitch Trap is saying. As the game ends, there's clearly a dialogue box along the bottom containing weird glitching text, but you'll notice that the patterns aren't random. Some shapes actually repeat themselves. These right here and these right here. It's actually a letter substitution code that spells out everyone's favorite phrase from the game.
I always come back.
And taking it all one step further, we can actually extract the audio from this moment. Do some audio trickery. By doubling the speed and then reversing it, we get this. I always come back, let me out. So in essence, Princess Quest is showing us a recreation of the events from the original Help Wanted. This does a couple of things for us. First, it basically proves 100% that this is, in fact, William Afton's spirit and not some sort of AI or code meant to replicate him. It is him through and through. Dude wasn't lying when he said he always comes back. He's got more lives than Jason Voorhees. He's also got himself a solid understanding
More
of
lives than
brand
Mario,
consistency. Afton always comes back. Secondly, though, what Princess Quest is doing is confirming for us the origin story of our new killer, Vanny.
How she
Vanessa.
came
In the original game, the
how she came in contact with Springtrap and, well,
Tape Girl was unclear because she sometimes encouraged us to collect the tapes and sometimes didn't. But here we get clarity on the whole story. Vanny is the princess with the lantern. She collects all the tapes, pieces, whatever, and gets taken over by Glitch Trap. This all confirms what we were speculating about before with Vanny in a previous theory from a year ago, that a young woman named Vanessa, Vanny for short, would be taken over by Afton to kill in his name, brainwashed or partially controlled by a spirit living inside of her.
Yes, I hear you. I know. No.
why are everybody so giddy with
There's
this theory?
also a similar conversation currently hidden in the source code of Scott's website, except here you see both sides of the conversation. Stay the course.
Still there to this day.
Focus on my voice.
I will.
Don't let anyone lead you astray.
I won't.
Have you selected one?
I have.
The one that seems to be selected is Gregory from the new game's trailer.
Gregory, be still. I think she's found us.
So, is that it? Just a recap of a lot of information we already knew? Are we just left to speculate about the rest until Security Breach finally comes out? Well, no. You see, in the last year, there's been one final source of information about Vanny, and it's a big one. A game that I've largely ignored up until now, FNAF's augmented reality game, Special Delivery. If you haven't
I knew that had lore in it. I guess we're not going to go over the Funko Pops, though. That's definitely a topic that's definitely needs to be zeroed in on at some point. But I knew FNAF AR had lore. I've never actually seen it before because I am unable to play it because my phone is outdated. Just sorry about that. It's like I haven't been able to actually play it because my stupid phone is very outdated. Well, I don't know how outdated it is, but it's not compatible with FNAF AR, which sucks. But I know it definitely has lore relating to Vanny.
This one, basically the concept is that animatronics get shipped to your home so you'll have yourself some new friends. Because let's be honest, fighting for your life against a malfunctioning robot is probably still better than trying to hold a normal conversation with a living, breathing human being. I think I've been dancing around this one just because the possible canonicity of characters like Shamrock, Freddy, Liberty, Chica, and Clown Springtrap makes me have a nervous breakdown. But questionable lore implications.
Although, it seems like it's not really. I'm sorry, I'm pausing so much, but it seems like it's like one of those canon spin-off sort of things where it's a spin-off of a game, but it does tie in to the series lore in some way.
Of flamethrower bear endo aside, this game has been seeding us more info over the entire last year about the history of Vanny and Glitchtrap, and it requires us to do one of the scariest tasks any FNAF game has ever required: reading emails. You see, the game will occasionally share you on emails that aren't intended for your eyes. On one side, we have ourselves the story of a company working on behalf of Fazbear Entertainment to disassemble old animatronics and scan their circuit boards into their computer system. And, just like Tape Girl warned us about back in FNAF VR, this causes a virus to spread through the system. Quote from those emails, "Turns out that wasn't a glitch. We released a virus when we scanned that last circuit board. It's spreading really fast. We're gonna need all hands on deck." New email. "Hey Jim, just checking in. I emailed you earlier this week about a virus caused by one of your circuit boards, which is currently spreading throughout our system and causing serious problems. Please contact me ASAP. Thanks. Best, Steve." So that is our Glitchtrap origin story. And to me, it's especially interesting because I think it helps explain.
That's how he was. I actually didn't. No, I've been asking myself a lot. I won't lie. Throughout like the past few weeks, I've been actually trying to answer my questions myself. Like, I've just been asking myself so many questions, like how was Glitchtrap created and whatnot, and many other things that are details that I feel like have kind of been glossed over, or at least I haven't heard an answer to.
Explain something that dates all the way back to FNAF 3. Recently in the series, we've learned that the FNAF games are canon in the games. Now, that's a really confusing sentence, so let me explain. In both FNAF VR and the Fazbear Frights books, it's confirmed that the urban legends about murders happening at Freddy's restaurants are mainstream enough to have gotten some video game spin-offs. Not necessarily the FNAF games that we know, and certainly not FNAF World, since everyone, including Scott, wants to forget that one, but games inspired by the legends of the pizzeria. In FNAF VR, in fact, we're told that they were made by Fazbear Entertainment as a cover-up.
Like FNAF 3, it was supposed to be sort of a jokey sort of haha horror attraction based on all the horrific rumors and whatnot.
Hired the game developer. Those indie games were designed to conceal and make light of what happened. This isn't just an attempt to rebrand. It's an elaborate cover-up.
And looking back on it, I believe that we've seen those games. I think we've played those games. They're the 8-bit mini-games from FNAF 3, Mangle's Quest, Baby's Air Adventure, Chica's Party, and Stage 01. Heck, they might even include the Take Cake, Give Gifts, etc. mini-games from FNAF 2. Those are the games being referenced in the games. I mean, they even have those sorts of cheesy titles that would come with cheap Atari-style games of that era. And how do we know all of this, and why am I talking about it now? Because of Glitchtrap. It's easy to forget, but the last minigame that you have to play in FNAF 3 features a glitched out bunny hopping. I didn't even mean to put the...
You're not telling me that Scott has had this planned since FNAF 3. No. Come on. Please don't tell me Scott has had this planned since all the way back then. Jesus Christ, if he did.
On there, hopping between the various minigames. This is the first appearance of Glitchtrap. It's Afton's spirit trapped inside the circuit boards of these...
I swear to God, Scott.
An escape that doesn't actually get realized until he's scanned into a new modern computer system meant to produce FNAF VR. Now, admittedly, this is a bit confusing when it comes to the timeline. We know Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was founded in 1983, as we see from the VR coins in Help Wanted. In FNAF 1, Phone Guy tells us that the animatronics have been around for 20 years. That puts FNAF 1 in 2003, not 1993 like I previously thought. And based on the official description for FNAF 3, Fazbear's Fright and the discovery of Springtrap all happened 30 years after the closure of Freddy's, making that one roughly 2033. Now, we have no idea when and how Afton got a piece of his soul into the circuit boards, probably via his extreme agony at getting spring locked. But if this company is literally opening animatronic suits sent from Fazbear Entertainment and scanning the boards as implied by the emails, are we assuming that they opened up the Springtrap suit, completely ignored the dead body inside, and scanned it? Just doesn't seem likely to me. Is Fazbear Entertainment rescuing the board after he was burned to death in FNAF 6? It's just odd. This is why I don't like to talk timeline with this series anymore.
For some reason, I feel like Fourth Closet, the book, has something to do with it. I don't know why.
Me, the simplest solution here is that William Afton's soul is just in multiple places at once, split like a Harry Potter Horcrux.
That's why.
Instead of swords and scars, he's split between
We've seen this sort of thing.
Boards. And one of those iterations is Glitchtrap, stuck in the various game's codes until he's eventually released. But rewinding all the way back to FNAF Special Delivery, there's a separate and related story happening in the secret inbox between Lewis and his fellow employee, Ness. Ness, as in Vanessa. It's Vanny again, my friends. Here we see a series of emails where Ness is acting weird, and Lewis, the IT guy, is honestly acting weirder because he's creeping on Ness. Here's a few highlights from these emails. Hey Ness, it's no big deal, but I wanted to reach out off the radar and remind you about the company policy about personal internet usage. Certain words and phrases trigger red flag reports, so your last order got automatically sent to me. Basically, anything mentioning torture is gonna raise the alarm. If you have any questions, let me know. We could even get coffee.
Yeah, that's a big red flag, man. Torture.
Or something and
oh
go over
God.
To avoid. And now I've raised my own red flag. Good thing I'm the one who gets the notification. Smiley, Lewis. Hey Ness, wanted to see if you're doing okay. I appreciate your taking my advice about red flag search terms. If I thought I'd have to file an incident report on you, I think I'd just have to quit instead. I was a little worried. Maybe something is going on with you. One day you're researching flowers and the migration pattern of bees. Fascinating, right? And the next day you type in, how far can a human being be cut in half before losing consciousness?
What the fuck?
Maybe you're writing a screenplay or something. Always here if you need me, Lewis. Hey,
and you this dude's an idiot.
So the word
Lewis is an idiot.
Isn't going to set off any red flags, but the sentence, how to induce compliance in human subjects and how to induce self-compliance did actually get my attention. I think the answer might involve chocolate chip cookies. Always works for me. I also thought it was strange that these were immediately followed by searches that couldn't possibly have any relevant answers for you. Did you search for help by itself? Anyway, my offer still stands. Policy. I'm free any day after work. We could grab...
Dude, she is in trouble. You are an idiot, Lewis. Oh my God.
Oh, Lewis, when you say stuff like that, it makes me...
A sad panda.
But HR violations aside, these conversations tell us a lot about Vanny's mental state. She is sharing control of herself with Glitchtrap. That's why we get references to her searching the internet for help. It's part of her psyche crying out for anything. Anyone who can save her. Anything that'll provide an escape. It's also why it's so important that Lewis calls out the searches for inducing compliance in human subjects and inducing self-compliance. That is Glitchtrap, searching for a way to gain complete control over Vanny, over her psyche. This further confirms something that we talked about in my last theory on Vanny. In that episode, we talked about how she's a reluctant follower, that Afton isn't in complete control. On Scott's Voices.com page, where he tends to hire out actors for the various vocal roles in the game, Vanny's listing was for a character named Reluctant Follower. So this woman is clearly a devotee, brainwashed or controlled by Afton to an extent, but a part of her is actively fighting back, hesitant to do what he asks, which makes me think that in Security Breach...
she's also fighting. Part of her is also fighting against that, side of her that wants to go against Glitchtrap. In the whole conversation she and Glitchtrap have, the conversation we can hear her having, but we don't hear Glitchtrap, obviously. In FNAF VR, when we have the plush and the mask, she tries to convince herself, it will be fun and all that. Dude, man, I'm so fascinated by these freaky new details and whatnot. Just was these new villains, Glitchtrap and Vanny. I mean, Glitchtrap's technically an old villain because William Afton is, but still, it's so much more intricate and interesting than, than anything we've seen before.
May be able to save or redeem her. In fact, knowing that may help us out with the gameplay. Maybe it's a secret or a true ending condition. That, my friends, is what I believe to be the big twist that awaits us in Security Breach. Wait. As I finish this video, of course, new statues.
Oh, but here we go.
Important lore reveals. So let's just talk about these real fast.
Here we go.
Gregory hiding inside of Freddy definitely looks like my idea about gameplay being a version of hide and seek is absolutely confirmed. Or maybe Gregory is just piloting an 80s era bear-shaped Gundam suit. Either way, I am totally living for it. As for the other statue that just dropped, looks like Vanny is going to be taking a page out of the Afton playbook. The classic security guard by day and serial killer at night. Old habits die hard, I guess. But in Vanny's case, here's my question. Is she going to remember it? My guess is no. I think it's going to be a classic case of Jekyll and Hyde. But who knows? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what it is. I hear that some big things are coming to this franchise before the end of the year. And I'm not just talking about all that cool new merch we dropped. Which, as one last reminder, is all available right below this video. But hey, that's
new merch.
Just a theory. Again!
If you noticed, I had skipped a bunch of the video beginning, then yeah, that's why it was mainly about new merch they have. But oh my god! I know I talked probably a bit too much. I paused and talked about a bit too much throughout this, but for some reason, just talking about this new lore in the FNAF series when it comes to, Security Breach and Vanny and Glitchtrap, for some reason, it's just so fun and fascinating to me, because, it's so interesting. I've never seen this sort of, story happen anywhere else. I mean, maybe I have, but not in the way that's being portrayed here for FNAF. It's really interesting, and there's the whole thing Matt had said about the, I'm glad he talked about the figures, even if it was, really brief, but, yeah, her possibly saving her, which is really, really interesting as well, because, she's a reluctant follower. She's not a direct follower yet. She's not completely serving Glitchtrap. She is, but she is hesitant to do so. Which, I mean, I remember Daco, when he was discussing the figures, I think he said something about, possibly the security guard role being partially her wanting to protect the kids and whatnot, and then, the killer side is her whole thing of serving at the Glitchtrap, killing them. Or maybe it is just a good old security guard ploy, disguise sort of thing, going back to that conversation with the mask and the plush, or she says, no one suspects anything, meaning that she is hiding her plans from someone and whatnot, and this is, as we know, this is most likely after whenever those emails in FNAF AR, were first, those conversations and emails happened. So we know it's not like we know she's not keeping her plans and secrets away from, the people who are working on all the stuff, all the other stuff. So it's most likely that it's, people at the pizza place, other employees, customers, and whatnot. Not hiding in plain sight while she concocts her plans for with glitch trap and all that. I don't know why I get such joy out of talking about just Vanny and glitch trap specifically. Like I've always been into FNAF. I've always loved it. I've always loved looking into the lore, whether it's through watching game theory or trying to look at certain things myself and trying to make my own conclusions. But this new age of FNAF, which first started with Help Wanted, has just it's just completely amped me up. Like, I am more excited than ever to try and find out these mysteries. Like, never before. The last time I had this sort of joy was with Bendy and the Ink Machine. Although that's obviously kind of died down recently, since it's been a while since Chapter 5. And though we have details in Portion of the Dark Survival, which isn't as it's more recent than Chapter 5 of the original Bendy. It's more so a prequel, so it doesn't really give us many looks into the future. It does give some, but not really enough to make any really good speculation or whatnot. And so we're all just kind of waiting for them to finish up Dark Revival, since they're releasing that as one full game rather than individual chapters. So it's nice to be getting into the groove of that sort of thing again with another really fascinating horror series that I really, really enjoy. It's not like FNAF was dying down for me. I've always been happy to delve into the secrets, but just with everything that's happening, the new books, the new games, and everything, it's just amazing, and they love it. But that said, to truly get the answers we're searching for, we're just gonna have to wait. Security Breach, it hasn't come out yet, but something tells me it's still around that corner. It just depends on how big that corner is. Apparently that corner is invisible, because we have no idea when we'll be rounding it. Because we have no real idea as to when Security Breach is coming out. But yeah, I'm just excited. I I know this is pretty ranty, but I just, oh my goodness.